Hello and welcome to my F1 24 driver career mode here today for part 63 of the American Grand Prix here at COTA, where we're back for another sprint weekend. So as we come into the sprint qualifier now, we go into the penultimate corner. The sun is starting to set. Into the final corner now, try and get a good exit. We've had a bit of oversteer, come up to the line, cross it, and that first one's going to put us P5. Our second run, we went purple in the middle sector. We've been tucked up behind Behrman now in the Sauber, but we've found another half a second, and that's going to put us on the second row when we start the sprint race, P3. So this is the grid then ahead of the America sprint. Our teammate George Russell is on pole and Oscar Piastri is alongside him. Then it's us and Carlos Sainz, Max and Albon, Leclerc and Sergio Perez, Alonso and Lando round out the top 10. Then it's Gasly and Ocon, Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda, Hamilton and Behrman, Lance Stroll and Nico Hülkenberg, and on the final row of the grid for the sprint race is Frederick Vesti and Joe. So as the 5 red lights come on now ahead of the sprint, we're sprinting in COTA and we've got an absolute shocker of a start. We've been done by Carlos Sainz. Piastri's going wheel to wheel with George. We're trying to get back round the outside of the Aston Martin. That's going to turn to the inside, but it's going to fend us off around the outside. As now we skip on to the back straight. We've managed to stick with Sainz and we're all over the back of him there. As we get closer and closer to him, to the inside we go. We're going to be late on the brakes and we're going to take Piastri as well. There's contact with Piastri, but we get up into P2 and it's a Mercedes 1-2 on lap 1. And we're hunting down now our teammate George Russell for the lead of the sprints. Look at the straight line speed we have with the DRS, and we get the job done and we take the lead of the America sprint ahead of George. But George isn't having that. He's going to have us back here. He's getting closer and closer to us. He's going to go to the inside, and with the DRS he's going to absolutely mug us there and get us back. There's nothing we can really do much about that. We weren't further enough alongside to have a go at the inside, but we're sticking with him. We're going to have him back here. We're going to go to the outside this time though. Can we keep it pinned around the outside? Yes we can. George has to back out of it. As now this is further back. This is Joe in the Sauber slowing down and pulling over to retire from the sprint race. His day is done as we continue to come under pressure then by our teammate George. This is a great battle for the win, unless you're Toto Wolff right now. And George gets us back at turn 1. We tried to cut him back, but it's not worked out, and George really takes the lead of the sprint. We've managed to stick with George now, and we're getting closer and closer to him again. We're going to go to the inside. He's really squeezed us right to the inside there, George. But we get the job done to the inside. George is going to try and hang it round the outside, but we're going to give him the elbow. And he's going to have to back out of that one. As this is Albon in the Williams. And that Mercedes engine has gone bang. Loads of Mercedes blowouts recently. We had the double DNF in Baku last time out for both of the McLarens. But it doesn't seem to be affecting us, the works team. So that's a bonus, but Albon's day is over here in the sprint. But now at lap 9, there's just a couple of laps to go. We've made a mistake going through the S section. Now George has got us offline and he's going to try and do us around the outside at the S section. Now he's going to have the inside line. We've made a mistake and gone off the track and kept the position by going off the track. That's a bit of a questionable one there. We probably should give him the position back, but we're not going to unless he can have a go, and the answer for that was no. So as we come into the final couple of corners, into the final corner, we fend off George. It's been a great battle and we are going to win the sprint in COTA. So that's been the sprint race then. We've won it. It's a Mercedes 1-2. Piastri managed to hold off both of the Aston Martins to get on the podium as well in P3. Sainz was P4 and Fernando Alonso P5. And then down at the back there was 2 retirements, that being Joe and Albon. So Oliver Bearman was the final finisher in the sprint. Let's go to qualifying. So as we come into qualifying now, ahead of the Grand Prix itself, into the final corner, the sun is setting once more. Track conditions are around about the same as the sprint, and that first lap is going to put us in a fairly decent position, but we've dropped down to P10. We've found 3 temps on this lap. We're going to come up to the line, we're going to cross it. That lap is going to put us P5. So this is the grid then ahead of the American Grand Prix. George Russell is on pole and Fernando Alonso. Then it's Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. We are P5 alongside Oscar Piastri. Then it's Perez and Lewis Hamilton. Tsunoda and Albon round out the top 10. Then it's Max and Leclerc, Gasly and Vesti, Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Nico Hulkenberg. And on the final row of the grid is both the Saubers, headed by Joe. So then as the cars come round to finish the formation lap, we're a bit further back than we was in the sprint. Can we win the real thing though? We did so last season. Can we do it again this year as the 5 red lights come on ahead of the Grand Prix? We're racing here in America, and we've got a fairly shocking start again, just like the sprint, but not as bad. There's a big gap though round the outside. We're going to try and get Sainz. Can we get him on the exit, on the traction, into turn 2? Yes we can, that's 1 place gained. We've got him there now. As we go through the S's, they're side by side in front. It's now, we've caught the McLaren napping as we try and go round the outside of him to the inside. Now we get Lando Norris through the S section, great move there. And we're up into P3 and on the back of our teammate who's lost out to Fernando Alonso at turn 1. Now can we get past George quickly and get down the road after Fernando Alonso? We're going to go to the inside, but fake it, go around the outside of George, but we've gone off the track. We've just about stayed with him. George has got us back though, and he keeps that position. We nearly had him around the outside, we just messed up there. As now we've managed to stick with him. The end of lap 1. As now we come up towards the line to go on to lap 2. In this race we're getting closer and closer. We're going to look to the inside and try and get him down the inside. It's a big lunge, but we get the job done on George. And now we're up into P2. And we pulled a slight gap on him. And up next is the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso, but he's so far up the road. But look at our straight line speed with the DRS. We've caught him up so quickly there. We're going to go around the outside of him. He's going to give us the little squeeze, but he's going to be fair and give us the space. Now we have the inside line. He tries to hang it round the outside, but he can't. And in just 2 laps, we've gone from P5 to the lead of the Grand Prix. As this is Bearman now slowing down further back to retire. It's a big engine failure for him. His teammate retired in the sprint and his day is over. In the race, it's not been the best of weekends for Sauber. They're still pointless this season as well, alongside Haas. But his day is over, is Bearman's. Lap 5 now, and we were really struggling to break the DRS here. As we run wide at the hairpin, that's not going to help us break the DRS either. That's going to leave us as a sitting duck to Fernando Alonso. As we go to the inside, we really try and put the squeeze on him, but he looks like he's ahead here. We're going to have to keep it pinned around the outside, but we can't do it. And Alonso is through and retakes the lead of the American Grand Prix, unless we can get back up the inside of him, which we can't. Can we go for a bit of a lunge to the inside? We're alongside. We can't get the exit though. We've dropped the back end, and Alonso stays in the lead of the Grand Prix. But now we're stuck with him as we go towards turn 1. We're going for the lunge to the inside, and we're back ahead of the Aston Martin, but he's going to have us back going down the back straight. He's at the inside of us. We're going to have to keep it pinned round the outside. Can we get the traction? We've just about kept it in between the white lines, and now to the inside we fend him off as this is further back This is Daniel Ricciardo in the Williams, spinning round at the end of the back straight, and he's blocking the track now. Everyone flooding through. A bit of a rookie mistake for Daniel Ricciardo, and that's going to bring out a red flag.
Okay, and that's a red flag.
Very interesting that one. The race has been stopped.
Okay.
So this is a replay then of what happened to Ricciardo. You can see he just turns in and drops the back end, spins up the rears, and then he's blocked the track. I'm not really too sure what Hulkenberg's doing there in the Haas, but this is going to be the strategy now. It was round about the pit stops anyway that the red flag came out, so we're going to be on the hard tyres to get us to the end of this race. So let's try this again then. The 5 red lights come on. We go racing once more, and we're racing here in Kota for a second time. Alonso's got a good start and tries to go to the inside of us. We're going to have to try and keep a pin around the outside. We fend him off, and George is going to do him around the outside as well. That's a great move by George. As now we skip on towards the end of the lap, and we've made a big mistake there at the hairpin. That's going to leave us vulnerable to our teammate here, George, in the fellow Mercedes. It's getting closer and closer to us. Is he going to be close enough to have a go? He's going to look to the outside. We're going to show him the door, and he has to back out of it. And we keep the lead at this restart as we go through the S section.
Okay,
now.
mate, George is in the car behind you. They are faster than you. Do you understand? They are faster than you. Let them through, please, mate.
It's just like Portimao last season. We're fighting for the lead of the Grand Prix, and we're having to give it up for our teammate when we're fighting to stay in this title battle. We're going to have to do it. So we're going to lift off, let him through.
I know it's not nice, but head down and let's focus on your own race.
Maybe if we can sit in George's DRS, we can pull away from the pack behind us. But if he doesn't, then we're overtaking him. He's got 5 laps to pull away from us, and he wasn't doing that as we kept making moves to the outside. We were trying not to overtake him, whilst also trying to keep the McLaren of Lando behind as well. And you can see we were quicker. We were so much quicker, but we just couldn't overtake him as we go again. And this time we're being left vulnerable to Lando. Lando's nearly had us here around the outside, but we fend him off, and really letting George through has hurt our race here. It's making it worse. We could bottle a 1-2 here. So lap 15 now. We're still doing it. George is still there. He's checking the mirror. He's checking the wrong mirror because we've gone to the outside of him. We're so much quicker. I don't know why we had to let him through. We don't want to upset the team, of course, but lap 16. There's your 5 laps, George. It's over. We're having him back now for the lead of the Grand Prix. As we go to the outside, we try and get him, but he fends us off. It's game on now. No player nice. We're not giving him the lead. We need it for the championship. And also, it's the same points for the team, no matter what way round we finish. And now, we're getting closer and closer to him. To the inside of George we go, and we take the lead of the Grand Prix back off of him. It might be controversial, but it's a move that we've got to make, because otherwise we're at risk of losing this 1-2. As we run wide there at the hairpin for the first time today, and now we're going to be side by side with George. He's going to have his back here for potentially, as we go flying down the back straight, and George just have his back, but we're going to cut him back at the inside and retake the place from George. And then we disappeared. We got down the road, we broke the DRS, and we were flying as George gets overtaken by Lando. Maybe that's why they wanted us to stick behind George, but look at how everyone started to spread out once we got away. And on lap 24 we've got that gap up to around 3.5 seconds as George still tries to find a way past from Lando Norris there. But look at the pace that we had, and we wasted half of it stepped behind our teammate, but as we round the final couple of corners, we're going to come up to the line. We pulled 8 seconds on George behind you with Lando, and we are going to win the American Grand Prix.
Wow, that's 3 wins in a row. They really are on a roll now and really building great momentum. They are clearly one to look out for.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everyone played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So that's been your American Grand Prix. We come home to win the Grand Prix, and it is a Mercedes 1-2. George got the fastest lap as well, so it's maximum points for us then. Lando though was P3, Carlos Sainz P4, Max Verstappen rounds out the top 5. And down at the back there was just a 1 retirement in the race, that was Ollie Behrman early on. Vesti then was the final finisher of the day. In terms of the Drivers' World Championship then, and Carlos Sainz has extended his lead over his teammates. The gap now 11 points. Most importantly, the gap between us and Sainz is now 38 points. We brought some big upgrades to this car and they seem to be working. The last couple of races we've been very quick, and we're pulling away now from Lando as well. And then there's still a lot of drivers still yet to score this season. Vesti still being bottom. Aston Martin having a pretty poor weekend. We've had a good weekend with that 1-2. We close in the gap now 145 points, but with only 3 races left. I think we can write that one off. The battle is with McLaren and we've gained some big points on them today, so that is the main thing. RB have jumped Alpine this weekend, and then Haas and Sauber are still yet to score. So that's been then your American Grand Prix weekend. We do the double, the sprint and the race, both of them being a 1-2 as well. We go though to Brazil next for our final sprint weekend of the season, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.